Guess what's coming out on Thursday on Mayo Media Network?
All Cust Corner episode. All Judge Cust.
Judge Cust, you got it. You and me, we filmed it like a month ago, but it doesn't go out of date.
Like, that is like I saw in the States. It seemed kind of gross, but in the grocery store, they'll sell a bag of Lucky Charms marshmallows, just the marshmallows.
Why?
Isn't like Starburst just the reds? Although Tim likes the yellows, like an only Judge Cust
at Mayo Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience. Houston Open picks, bets, preview, one and done, plus a recap of all the tournaments last week. Maybe not all the tournaments, because Jeff, I didn't watch the LPGA and I didn't watch the China Open, Hisan Open. I don't even know where that was on the DP World Tour, but I didn't watch it, so we're not going to be recapping that.
Noteworthy was Gomberg, an American. The way he got his card, Pat, he like holed out on the last day of the season last year to keep his card, to get his card. It was an incredible highlight that day. And then obviously like golf is just the craziest sport. And now he's a winner.
I really feel like he should come to the first tee with Gomberg. Like get the security guy, have him come. Like he could really juice this up to become a household name.
I really hope I even got the last name right, but I think that's what it was.
Isn't it Gomberg?
Gomberg something. Yeah, so that was a really cool story. And I watched Bryson versus Rahm in a playoff.
How was it? How was it? Because we woke up to a lot of Cust type stuff, like how pumped he was for LIV, and then I had to explain the economics of golf to him, which he, despite being the 20th time that I've described it to him, he's like, well, why isn't the PGA running a one-off event in South Africa? It's like, well, it's kind of expensive to do that. When you have an unlimited budget, not so bad. And then he didn't realize how funds are allocated in golf tournaments. It was quite shocking, actually, despite being told it so many different times in the past. But good. It was besides Adelaide, this seems like it's their tournament. We talked about this from day one. Like, why wouldn't you go to South Africa if you have a South Africa team?
100%. It's like the lowest hanging fruit. LIV exists for like almost, you think, those exact reasons. Right? Like Adelaide, like this. I guess they're trying to get something going in Korea. And I'm sure there's another country or two that I'm certainly forgetting, but that does seem like one of their solid strategies. I said to you, I watched the playoff. It did feel like the course felt like Craig Ranch, South Africa.
Well, the guys beat it up pretty badly.
And it was pouring rain, and like Bryson hit this horrible drive in the playoff, and he got free relief from like a mud track, which I guess is fair. And then he hits this most insane shot, like incredible pin high, like what? It was like 280 yards, and Rahm's in the center of the fairway and can't even make a birdie on an easy par 5. And Rahm didn't birdie it in regulation either. Nor did Bryson. Now I've said too much, but it was kind of, I watched the end, Pat, and I love golf enough where like I'll watch the end and they're great players. And there was a bit of drama because it was coming down. Rahm had caught Bryson. And then Brandon, I can't believe I'm doing this because it's so stupid, but it can work. No, it never works, but I guess they got me a little. Brandon Grace had 2 incredible opportunities. I can't believe I'm doing this. To tie the team competition and force a team playoff. And there would have been 2 playoffs, an individual and team playoff.
Well, that happened. That happened in Adelaide 2 years ago, as I recall.
And as corny and as much as I hate what I'm doing here, the team playoff, I want to say, is the only thing about LIV that's actually cool, because I want to say it's like alternate shot between the team.
I forget how it was in the one that I watched.
Right? And I was like, that's how more live should be. Holy shit. Like, that's team golf. But yeah, Gray, so Gray seemed gutted, but like you said, you're gonna live exist go to these places that the PGA Tour has abandoned and put on a show.
Hold on. I don't think the PGA Tour abandoned South Africa.
They've abandoned the world.
They've abandoned
whether it be economics or not. It's just the reality of it.
Yeah, but what do you want them to do? To go to
I don't think
Johannesburg in between the Valspar and Valero?
They abandoned Australia. I will say they abandoned Australia. It's probably too strong to say that for South Africa, but they abandoned Australia.
Wasn't this part of the reason that they joined with the DP World Tour so the DP World Tour could handle this stuff? Because like when they go to South Africa,
be more official co-sanctioned.
Okay, I can get behind that with the Australian Open being one of those things. But what are they going to do? Deploy everyone to Australia for a week? Like
no, not deploy. Just make it appealing. I don't know. There's too much money here. It doesn't matter.
Well, there's too much. There's too much money here. But when they used to run that WGC in China, they used to have like 3 events, like one in Kuala Lumpur, and that's when they'd stick around. Major. And then they would stick around for Japan as well. I think that's when the CJ Cup used to be in South Korea. That get the guys over there, and then you can make it a bit feasible by having 4 weeks of tournaments. When the DP World Tour does their African swing, they're in like Kenya, then they're in South Africa for like 3 weeks. That it makes it more feasible for the players and production teams to be able to do it. But it was a huge crowd in South Africa, which is nothing but positive news. I would love it if they stuck more to this strategy rather than being like, now we need to do Live Detroit.
I guarantee you, we've said it from day one. If they went to Western Canada or almost anywhere in Canada out of like the Ontario sphere, it would do incredible.
If they put it in, they have PGA Mickelson or whatever it's called in Calgary. Just use that. Calgary would love that. It's not
That's
like
what
it's
I mean. These places that the PGA Tour abandon isn't the right word. You're right. Just these places where, it's just a big business and you can't hit everywhere. There's pockets of the world that are just been like ignored by pro golf. You go drop Bryson, Rahm, Hatton, Phil, I don't need to name names, drop Live there. I guarantee you golf fans, even if they're anti-Live, would go. Like Live as its concept, like I am, I would for sure go to a Live event to get as close as you can get to just have a few drinks, laugh, watch golf. Like, of course I would go.
I would too. I was thinking about going to one this summer. There's one outside of Jersey. If I have the time, I'm probably going to go do that.
See, I don't know that I would, like, if it worked with like a trip I was on, I don't know that I would plan something necessarily around a Live event, but if it was in proximity to me, I would absolutely go. And I guarantee you they could glad hand the North American schedule, the time zones, and still come to Canada and get incredible crowds. I have no doubt.
But it's one thing to have these incredible crowds, but again, as I was trying to explain to Cust, that like on the PGA Tour, when they get huge crowds, like most of that goes to paying for what is happening at the course, and the rest goes to charity. That's not where the PGA is making its money.
No, the PGA, the PGA, they pay a lot of money to, I don't want to say like rent the properties, but for lack of a better term, and a lot of improvements that are made at the courses that they go to all the time, they pay a lot of money for. The economics of the PGA Tour is quite wild. I'm not smart enough to figure it out, but there's a lot going on. But you're right. I don't believe the like gates go to the tour. Those go to the tournament hosts in the hometown.
Yeah, and whatever local charity is sponsored by it, the excess funds end up going to that. That's how they end up running as a nonprofit most of the time. But all their money is made in TV broadcasting rights and the title sponsorship. That's why, because I think people got confused with they want to get these bigger sponsors to come out. Therefore, they need to move to bigger cities. It's twofold. Yeah, you want the bigger crowds there to make your tournament seem legit. Like we didn't even talk about what was it, Live Singapore last week. They played a tournament last week. Bryson won that tournament, I believe, last week. Yeah, he did. He won in Live Singapore last week. There was like 0 people at the course. We were like, all right. But when there is people there, it makes it seem more meaningful. And that's what the PGA wants to do by going back to Chicago and New York and Boston, because you're going to attract bigger title sponsors. And that, along with the TV, is where their money is made.
I guess. They've lost a few, but yeah, when you really do, if you like zoom out and look at the whole PGA Tour calendar and these sort of corporations that are in bed with the PGA Tour, it is all like 85% of them are like blue chip.
And you have the official paint sponsor of the PGA Tour, Valspar, as I was reminded.
And the caddies love Valspar. We see those hats.
No
one is apparently nicer to the caddies than Valspar.
Fucking hate the stupid nameplates at the Valspar. I hate it. I can't tell who's who.
Oh, yeah. No.
It's not so bad on Sunday when you know who you're watching, but like when you're I watched the 5 featured par 3s they had this week. I'm like, I don't even know who's on the tee right now.
It's always, like you said, didn't you say it's your tier 1, like not like take away majors and elevated tournament?
What do you mean?
Didn't you say last week like it used to be Heritage, but now it's Valspar for you?
Yeah, I really enjoyed watching it this way. I watched it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. As many people know, I've been home a lot recently and just got a lot of time walking on the treadmill and watching some golf. It was great.
It's always an excellent tournament.
Bryson has
even like running them. There've been like a couple runaways, but for the most part, it is just one of the most fire Sundays we get all year.
Hard course kind of evens it out. You get your dudes who, maybe lack the overall skill of some of the other guys in the tournament, but at that particular tournament, like doing one thing great throughout the course of the week can really carry you. Like until Snedeker forgot he was, he got to the back 9 and he was in the lead at the Valspar yesterday. And then I think he realized that he's 46-year-old Brandt Snedeker. He's like, oh my God, what is happening right now? And he just completely melted down. But dude was making 30-foot par savers. Like, if you just do that for 72 holes, you have a legit chance of winning there, even if your ball striking isn't up to snuff like some of the very top guys. There are equalizers at that course. But as we've seen, because the Valspar generally has some really good winners when you go back and look, like that quality of player versus like whatever field is. And Fitz is another one in the long lineage of Sam Burns or
long shots for suckers bets there, maybe, right?
Not necessarily suckers bets, because it only takes one for it to make it work. And you always do have like 2 or 3 guys. Like Lipsky had that tournament won, and then he gave it away.
Yeah, no, fair. I suckers bet too strong. But you're right. Since we've started doing the show, even before it, like Donald Fowler, it's always just been, you don't want to maybe be looking too deep on like the outright Valspar board.
Yeah, I think I hit the biggest winner there the year that you and I had one. That was 100-1.
Beautiful. Yeah, I can't think of anything that like the Caseys, the Burns. Yeah, you ran through them. Speed.
You hit Taylor Moore there, but that was what, 60-1? 80-1?
Oh, yeah. But there was a huge live in there too. But yeah, Taylor Moore, maybe, the more recent, longer shot. Was that in COVID? Feels like a weird.
I think it was. Yeah, because Spieth had Adam Schenk had that tournament won, and then Spieth came pretty close. Did you watch much Spieth this week? It was wild.
So I didn't watch much until the weekend, but yeah, the full Spieth experience. And that's just for Snedeker. It was just the up and downs. Like the guy, didn't matter where he was around the green in a bunker, he'd hit it to like 4 feet and he'd hit all his par putts other than the 30-foot par putts. Guy was just pure. And then I don't think he was playing differently. He just stopped making every save.
And then
he made a horrible double.
And that's what usually ends up happening at Valspar, is that you stop making those putts. Then all of a sudden, the guy who's been striking the hell out of the ball all week just taps in his 1-foot par putt and he wins. It took Fitz. He finally had to make 2 long putts that were more than 3 feet, and he made them, and then he won.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time in that round where they said he was like 2 for 6 on putts between like 5 and 8 feet or something. So he could have ran away with it. And it for a moment felt like this is going to be another week where Fitz just like missed. You can like remember the small handful of like six footers. And he's gonna, he's just gonna lose by a stroke. But no, it was a tough course. There wasn't exactly like a class chasing pack, and the crop rise. It was a well-deserved win. No one's playing better. It's now like, you've got your future. That's incredible for the Masters. You're not like we all had bet Fitz a lot and sort of just weren't there this week. So that's a bit frustrating. You probably more than most because now you're sitting with that Masters future.
Well,
it sort of feels like the only thing he could do at the Masters. Like now, he's at the price point and he's in the form where it's like, I guess you win the Masters now. It's like the expectation in terms of betting him. It's not like 100-1. It's like 30, 33. So it's like, okay, that's a bet. Like you go win the Masters, pal.
Yeah, he's 30-1 right now to win the Masters. I have him on the future show that we did before the season. He was my one Masters bet at 110-1. But weirdly, checking off the win before the Masters actually makes me feel better about him winning the Masters.
Yeah, I agree. He's of a player class where I would tend to agree with that. If it was like a much lower tiered player, then maybe I'd be worried. But sure, he's got to prove to himself that he can get over the line. He's just playing outstanding. And, depending on what your case, how strongly you feel for the live situation, the Masters feels like there's an opportunity for someone in that. It's been a while when it used to happen often, but like the above 30-1s to sort of come barnstorm this thing.
Well, it's not so much that I guess there is a point to that he can prove it to himself that he can get over the finish line with so many close calls and this amazing ball striking that he's been having so far this season. He finally matched it up. He didn't need a lot of putting. He just needed a little bit of putting in order to win this tournament. And I think when you take a look at the final leaderboard, you're like, well, he just beat an absolute bunch of jabronis. Like, who cares? There was a lot of good players at the Valspar.
100%. Yeah, there was like a big 4 or 5 in that thing. It's a quality tournament. I mean, we see shit fields. That wasn't one of them.
No, in this one is good this week in Houston as well. It's not quite as like strong. I mean, it has Scotty, so that's going to do a lot of heavy lifting. But that second tier of guy isn't as strong as the top 6 that we saw at the Valspar last week. Like there's no Fitzpatrick in this field. Fitzpatrick in the field this week is like Minwoo, and Fitzpatrick's just way better than Minwoo. I do want to circle back to the Masters odds for a second. As you mentioned, Fitzpatrick is now 30. I just couldn't recall the last time someone won the Masters without having won a tournament already in the year. Reed, I think, is the answer. Maybe Hideki?
I don't know. I mean, that's on the spot. I feel like there's all those like hyper, but they got trends up the ass that show you have to have like a specific set of results. I don't know that it actually is a win, but you have to have like not only had these like plus ball striking situations or strokes gained, but you've also been mixing. Like there is a clear runway to seeing how like you do not find it at the Masters. Although, Pat, we have seen in the last couple years, they didn't win, but guys who were like totally
dead
downtrodden, like Victor and Homa last year. And I bet you we could every year, there's these guys that like are lost and they peak like for a bit at the Masters, like high ceiling guys. I mean, who are like just totally on their C- D games. And then they show up early at the Masters like, whoa, missed that 80-1.
Yeah, Sungjae was that last year too. He just had absolutely no form, and I think he ended up coming in 5th. Yeah, Rahm won before, Rory won before, Scotty won before, Scotty won before. So I guess I'd have to go back and look at Hideki to see if he was the one who didn't do it. But Reed, I remember, stuck out, but there was also the trend. It's like a win or 3 top 10s previous to the Masters. Like almost, I think every single guy from the past. Tiger probably would have been an exception to that in 2019 just because he didn't play all that often, but I still think he had the 3 top 10s. And I think it's anything like over 1.5 strokes gained per round total coming in. That's going to really narrow the list down pretty large when we get there. But the two that I'm kind of circling around right now, I want to see what the best number I can get on Xander is, because Xander's he's around every week now.
Yeah. I don't, another great Valspar for Valspar. Like he just had that slip up, but yeah, he seems consistent. You can sort of trust him to get over the line. His last win was the major, right?
No, he won in Japan in the swing season this year. He won the Bay Current because Grazerman almost holed out to tie him.
It's hard to dislike that. I mean, when you go into that next group, what is it? It's like Xander, Tommy, Colin.
Basically, yeah. I mean, Colin's probably a pretty good look as well. I did want to talk about Rahm and Bryson for a second because they're now 3 and 4 on the odds board. Bryson's 10-1, Rahm is 12-1. Again, you can go to coolbet.com. If you're in Canada, outside of Ontario, the PME boost at 16-1 hit this week, which is just terrific news. Shout out to Corey Connors I couldn't find video on what happened to him on the 18th hole, but he drove it 150 yards. So I assume he hit a tree somewhere that he missed a 9-foot putt for par, making our main man, AJ Ewart, low Canadian. Save my week. Save my week, Jeff. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, Rahm and Bryson.
Bryson's won 2 in a row, and I don't think that they play again before the Masters, do they?
I don't believe so, but I don't, maybe I should know that schedule. Rahm was like 18-16 for a while. I thought maybe that was decent, but I just wasn't ready to make a bet. And I wouldn't be surprised if like week of they actually bump a little. I would lean Rahm over Bryson if I had to pick one of them.
I think I would too. And I know that Bryson's kind of shoved it in my face, although he hasn't won, so I guess I've been correct about it. But he's played much better at Augusta than I ever thought that he would. I just don't think that he has the feel for Augusta. I think that he needs a specific type of conditions. And we saw that when he was first round leader in those super soggy conditions. You get a really wet course, I think Bryson can tear that place apart. But every time that he's been in contention and has been asked to get it up and down from, like, even on the one that sticks out to me is trying to get to 15-2, and he got there, but he hit that ball to the right of the sand. And sometimes he's been very good around the green, but he doesn't have that like majesty touch, like the Spiethian touch where, I need to hit the ball here so it rolls to here, and I need to put a certain amount of spin on it so it checks to this spot. Bryson just doesn't have that feel around the greens like some of the other, like Rahm does. Rahm has that feel around the greens. And I probably would have said the same thing about Dustin, and I mean, Dustin won in that weird COVID Masters too. Not to say that he would never have won the Masters, but that was always the thing in my mind that held him back at Augusta, that he didn't have that creativity that you really needed. It's not kind of the same thing that we see at Bryson at the Open Championship a lot of times too. It's just he doesn't. You can play it on TrackMan all you want, but once you're out there, it gets a little bit different. Like that's why the U.S. Open and PGA Championship have always been better types of locations for him. Brooks, in a weird way, is kind of the same thing. They are good enough that they can win. I just would not want to back them at this sort of price versus someone like Rahm, who probably is obviously not playing as well as Bryson, despite playing pretty well. His last 5 finishes on LIV this year: second, first, fifth, second for Rahm is what he has come in 5 LIV starts so far this year. Bryson's obviously won back-to-back, but he does have that touch. He does have that feel that you don't see very mechanical type guys end up winning the Masters.
I think that's all well said. I don't have really anything to add other than it might be getting to the point where I will be. This is good news for all you guys who got it. It could be getting to the point where I might be looking to actually pick on Brooks at the Masters.
Well, Brooks is...
It's like a perfect storm. You have made the case before, but now it's like, I'm not an idiot. I see what's happening. He's playing great. I look forward to him winning again. I think it'll be great for the tour. I don't think he's going to win the Masters. And now we're getting to the point where things are sort of happening closer to the top of the board, and he is playing consistently very strong, and people have this unwavering belief in him, which I totally get. But I think that's going to all play into my favor. I think that's all going to play into my favor.
Hideki did not win before winning the Masters in 2021.
Yeah, we had that run, Pat, where it was like 40 and above for like a handful of years. Obviously, Willett, we got our big numbers, but he went off like 60, 66. Reed was 40. Hideki was 40. Sergio was like 40,
50.
45.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm forgetting someone. So there was that like pocket where it wasn't. But in the last handful, it just feels like we could play the game that like you could take that old school, that classic Brooks game of like, you know, I'm on the plane and I think only 20 guys can win when I make a list. Like nowadays, it's felt like 12 guys, 8 guys can win a Masters. I think that is going to, that birthing hole is going to be bigger this year. And that is where it can get more expensive for this guy.
Yeah. Rory, Scotty, Rahm, Scotty, your past 4 winners. Then Hideki, and then Dustin Johnson in the fall of that year.
Was Dustin the favorite then? I forget.
Yes, he was. He had won like 3 or 4 events going.
Oh, yeah. He got so hot near the end of COVID, like the end of the COVID season. And then, the fall Masters.
Okay. Yeah, the only thing that he didn't win was actually the Houston Open because it was played in the fall. I believe he came second that year.
What a run of golf that was.
But this is the last time he was good.
Whatever.
The
Aces have won 2 team titles this year.
Is there anyone else from LIV that you'd even consider at the Masters at this point?
Okay, so I need to say one thing. This is the actual first time. LIV has existed for how many years?
4, I want to say.
4. You could think in your mind other guys deserved it at times, whatever. But for me, this is the first one where, and it's the price you paid. You knew it when you took the money that the lines were not going to be the same. You hoped it was going to be figured out. He was horrible around the world, and he doesn't deserve to be there. Sorry, I get why he's not there, but I believe Neiman deserves to be there.
Why?
I do. Because in my head, he's talented enough that he should be there, but he made this deal. He made the deal. He's got no one to blame but himself. The only thing I'm trying to say is for the first time in LIV's existence, I don't give a fuck about Taylor Gooch. Someone is not going to play in a major who I believe fully deserves to play in a major other than your actions have consequences. And I stand by him not being invited.
I mean, dude has 2 top 10s, including LIV, over the past 12 months.
It's not been good.
I don't see why you think he should be in the Masters. Like when he was winning every LIV tournament and he won 5 times in a year, absolutely.
I just think it's unfortunate. He did it to himself.
I agree. Like he was let's see, Saudi International, Australian PGA, Crown right? Australian, Hero Dubai, cut. He has 1 top 10 on LIV this year.
He made it. He couldn't even the people who defend him like me have no leg to stand on in terms of like, he doesn't deserve it. But for the first time in LIV's existence, I believe someone is so talented and they're missing it. It's a major. It's, sorry, pal. Like that saves me money because I'd have bet it.
You can still bet it.
It's like 80 or 100 to 1.
No, I'm looking at it right now. It's 50 to 1. He's not even in the tournament. That's how good he is.
I've been looking. I've seen 80s. I thought about betting it. I looked at rules at places to make sure to get refunded. It's not there. Other than that, I believe Tatton has the nuts to win. He's just not playing great right now, and you're not going to win the Masters with your like B- game. And I don't even think he's got his B- right now. But like, even if he leveled up, I don't think he's got it right now. But if his number got like above 60 to 1 or something, 70 to 1, I could see myself betting it.
It's going to be 100 to 1 by the time the Masters comes around.
And he could be a long shot for me, for sure.
More so than like Cameron Smith?
I wouldn't put red ink through that either. That's the problem. If we did this right now a year ago, Pat, there'd be so much red ink on my page, there'd be 18 names. Now, like, again, I think I'm not making bets right now because I the markets would suck. I'd have to love someone. but I am projecting like me taking swings at this thing that I never thought I would take. Like the card construction, I feel like could look a lot more like a Bay Hill than an Augusta.
That's interesting. What if Scotty just wins this week and dominating fashion wins? Does that change your perspective?
Yes. But like, I want to have a crash out about the Chargers. But if they just sign like one guard for $10 million, I think the world was amazing. So I am always, I am on tilt on all of it at the moment. Like I could be pushed any direction. But that's to say, like I'm close to a freak out, but at the same time, it's fine. I think there's an opportunity this Masters, but if Scotty won, then that would change everything.
Starting something new is terrifying. I remember right before launching this show thinking, what if no one listens? What if it completely flops? And that's something that has persisted every time that I hit record and go to edit a show, even as I'm recording this right now. It never goes away. But taking that leap ended up being one of the best decisions I ever made. And honestly, having something like Shopify back then would have made it a whole lot easier. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses. Whether you're just getting started or scaling up, you can build a clean, professional store with ready-to-use templates that actually match your brand. No coding headaches. And it's not just a storefront. Shopify's got built-in AI tools to help write product descriptions, improve your pages, even upgrade your images. Plus, you can run email and social campaigns right from the platform like you've got a full marketing team behind you. That would have been great like 15 years ago, not gonna lie to you. Best part, everything lives in one place. Inventory, payments, analytics, so you're not juggling 5 different tools to run your business. It's time to turn those what-ifs into with Shopify today. Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/PatMayo. Go to shopify.com/PatMayo. That's shopify.com/PatMayo. Think you know ball? Prove it on Underdog and bet the bracket. Build a tourney bracket for free and see if you can outlast the rest for a shot at $100,000 in prizes. If you're a bracket bust, don't worry. You can turn your bets into real money all tourney long with prediction markets on Underdog. Available right now in most states like California, Texas, and Florida. Head to the Underdog app and put your bets to the test. With prediction markets, you can bet on money lines, spreads, and totals throughout the tournament, all in one place in real time. New markets drop every round from the opening tip to the final buzzer. So, if you love college hoops and think you know how each round will unfold, Underdog is where you make your bets. Download the Underdog app today and use promo code MAYO to get started. Prediction markets on Underdog. Available in your state. Let's talk a little more about Valspar for a second, because I had a few more notes. I was really, because Blickle and I talked about Sungjae a little bit. And it's just like, is he really going to do it? Like, is he going to pull a Justin Thomas and just immediately, after showing no signs of life, immediately get back into it? Where do you stand on him now? Obviously, he gagged away Sunday, but he had the most amazing Thursday anyone could really ever have at the Valspar. You rarely see people shoot 7 under on a Thursday at Copperhead. But was this encouraging for you, or is this more indicative of what we've seen from Sungjae the past 2 years, where there's one really good round wrapped in there, but you just can't put it all together?
Absolutely encouraging. I brought him up last week on the show. Not like I had no like thoughts of actually betting him, but just being like, everyone was so out on JT, and he like instantly kind of popped at the players like, what's it on Sungjae? You had you read out the numbers from the 2 events, and I was like, yeah, no chance. But we knew about the course history, and his game, should work around Florida. But I was never gonna bet him last week. I know some people were close. As for I think in terms of my outlook for Sungjae, incredible week. I'm not gonna hold like a front 9 on a Sunday. Well, you haven't even you've just missed cuts. Florida. I'm you know me, I'm the apologist around here, but like a total apologist.
It was
Like,
a great
great week for him.
Good week for him. Good week for guys that played on the European tour for ages. Fitz, Lipsky, Jordan Smith, Marco Penge. Fucking Penge, man. All I've wanted all year was to bet Marco Penge in Houston. And it was looking like we were going to get 100-1. He's 30-1 now because he had one good week, finally. Killing me here.
So let's talk about this. I bet some live Penge on Friday, like 58-1. So
at Houston,
it was a
or
bad week for me.
At Houston or Valspar?
No, for Valspar. My guys were just not running. Just didn't seem like my guys were running at all. And I'd almost bet them. So it was like a peace of mind. So I had that bit of sweat and I was rooting them on and it was feeling great. And, you know, all the reasons. But Pat, last night I dropped like the Penge hammer and I missed the opening 50s, but I got like 44. And I'm sitting there at the keg, just like smashing. Someone's up like 10 points in the basketball game with like 2 minutes to go. I'm like, they only let me make my $17 parlays, smashing them. I don't care if it's going to be the most popular bet. Will he win? Probably not. But I couldn't not. And even if he played fine and he wasn't sniffing the leaderboard, he still wouldn't have been 100 last week. He would, and Houston, there's no chance. If he played horrible at the Valspar, maybe would have been 100. But he was like 90, 100 at the Valspar.
And so I think you're getting similar strength of fields here. Like, maybe he would have been 80 because Jordan Smith just made a run. He's still 80, and he's been playing much better than Penge has.
And I knew, like, as I'm hitting these bets, that this is like, it's going to be most tipped. It's going to be so popular. Like, sometimes when I'm making a bet out of the gate, I'm naive enough to not know that like everyone else is going to make this bet. I think like I'm not a sharp, I'm a square. But I think like I'm seeing this, they're not. And then 40 minutes after our show, I realize, oh my God, that's the most popular bet. Of course it is. Making these Marco bets last night, I knew, I don't care, but I didn't care. And guess what? I hit Minwoo here. I hit Jaeger here. I'll do whatever I want here. And I needed him. And I also was smashing Thor 40, which is still there. But that was like, I felt last night like I had a winner already. I was like, they could pay me now.
Did you happen to see the, what was the nickname that my buddy gave to him yesterday? He was watching golf with a friend who does not watch a whole lot of golf. He's calling him Dumont de Croissant, the slowest man on tour.
What?
Fitz put him on the clock. Fitz called over a rules official. Was like, you got to speed this guy up, man. Like he's Glacier from WCW out here.
Again, like it adds to how great Fitz's victory was. He did it beside that guy. Do you know how hard it is to go to be Karen and then finish your job? Listen,
I disagree. I feel like the guy playing slow is Karen. Not the guy being like, hurry the fuck up, man.
No,
you're just making triple bogey after triple bogey. Hurry up.
I understand, but to actually file the complaint, I agree with what Fitz did. But to be so frustrated that you get yourself to that point, he even said it took me a couple holes, even after they put Buddy on the clock, for Fitz to I don't want to say calm down, but it's just to gather himself. He kind of admitted. But yeah, what a bitch. You're good for Fitz. All problem actors should be called on the carpet. It's all we have. It is the only fucking currency we have in this world, is to shame people. And it should be done more often.
Do you think Cantlay paid him off to play slower so no one had any heat on Cantlay?
Patrick's, what's he like? He's probably 80-1. What would he be on a Masters? 60-80-1 now, probably. He's the one guy I have seen going the other way. Normally we don't see guys get bigger. I keep seeing him get bigger.
Yeah, but he's a part of that unlikable group that can actually drop. We've spoken about this for years.
You're right. That's fair. I don't know. He had a good run of holes. He had a fine week. Probably his
okay.
one of his better weeks in a while, but I don't have anything there. What is Xander's number right now?
18.
Yeah.
You know what's over in the DP World Tour this week?
I don't.
It's that crazy Indian Open course where no one finishes below par. It's like the one with, it's essentially it's rigged up like a mini golf course, like windmills in the middle of the fairway. Not really, but it's just a completely bonkers course.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah, it should be fun. Wake up in the morning, maybe watch that now that I don't have live in my life to wake up.
Well, listen, I mean, I remember it's all part of it, right? Like now that you with the newborn, you're gonna be coming on with DP World tips, buddy.
I know. I got hot last time. When my son was born 6 years ago, then I got really hot with those DP World Tour tips because I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning watching it. Now I can do the same thing again.
Yeah, no, that's the deal. Like I rely on anyone with a baby to keep me informed on the DP World.
Let's move to Houston. See what we got cooking here. So I did the research show. Obviously, I went all in on ball speed because that's what played last year and to a lesser extent the year before as well. There's Scotty, then the ball speed guys, or who you're really looking for here. I was trying to figure out why it played so much easier last year. I was trying to think, are the trees knocked down? It was a better field a year ago. And then someone reminded me that it was super wet last year and there was preferred lies for 3 of the 4 rounds. That is likely the biggest indication of why it got to -20 when -16 had previously been the lowest score. And even that was a bit of an outlier. This course is really hard. It's really long. It's really hard. There's not a ton of birdies to be made, and chipping here can be a disaster for some guys.
Yes, I remember some horrific chipping, but I just pray that the Bombers, I bet, don't embarrass themselves.
So you've kind of already thrown it out. So Scotty's the favorite in the tournament this week. You can get him as high as 3.5 to 1, which I actually found somewhat surprising. I thought he'd be 2.5, 3 to 1. So you're getting a bit more on Scotty these days. He's not winning, although he does have a runner-up in Houston each of the past 2 seasons. And then after him, it's Goddard, Knapp, Minwoo, Burns, Brooks, Ricky, Kitiyama, Penge, Nikolai Højgaard, and that's kind of like your cutoff. I like a lot of these next guys, but I have a whole list of guys written down. Maybe that's the way, because we're not betting Scotty, right? Obviously, you said you've already bet Minwoo and Jaeger to win their second Houston Open title, and you've already hit them as winners here. Might as well go back to it. You've already bet Penge.
I didn't bet Minwoo and Jaeger. I'm saying I've hit them here before,
hit them.
So I feel emboldened to do whatever I want. I hadn't even thought about Jaeger. I will say, of that next tier golfer, because I'm not really this Knapp hardo that a lot of people are, although I think he could win this week, of that next group, give me Minwoo. Minwoo over Brooks, Minwoo, maybe Goddard, but Minwoo would be my guy in that group in the 20s, for sure.
It's funny. Sure. I had 4 guys from that tier ranked ahead of him that I wanted to bet. Goddard being a bullet number 1. I get that he's already as sad as this sounds, my only hesitation is that he's already won twice this year. Is he really going to win 3 times before the Masters?
Yeah, an event like this, he for sure can win.
And he's 19 to 1 in some spots, 22 in some spots.
I'm seeing a 24.5.
That's probably the best number that you're going to find on him at the moment. So there was him. I really like Kitiyama. I really like Penge, obviously, and Nikolai would be the other one.
Nikolai too. I have a buddy who says he's already asking if I wanted to buy some Nikolai off him. He accidentally overbet it. I hit it twice, but there are Nikolai 4. I don't know if Nikolai 40s are still out there, but yeah. I mean, Nikolai tickles my fancy too. I don't know if I'm going to end up getting there on him, but Thor, Penge, just give me Kelly Kapowski, Kelly Taylor, Topanga Lawrence, just give me all of them.
I'm just in a spot here because I do like Penge. Obviously, I want to bet Penge. Do I want to bet him at 30 to 1 in a field where Scotty's there?
Yeah, that's tough. as like the most, like when you're betting it, he is like now the most bet confirmed, but
It's
I
not
don't
even
know,
that he's
it
the
just
most bet. It's just
feels-
I'm getting such a, like at 80, I thought I was going to get 100. Obviously, that went out the window once I saw his name on the Valspar leaderboard. I was like, oh, maybe I'll get a 50. By the time that the books that I can bet on opened up, he was down to 30. Like everyone else has a 40 or a 50. And it's not that I have FOMO on the number. I just don't think the number's very good anymore.
It's hard to disagree. Like you can bet Nikolai at the same number, not to say
Yeah.
you can't bet both. But it's hard to disagree. Like, would you like even
I like
don't
Kitiyama
disagree.
better.
I
I
don't
like Kitiyama
disagree.
better. And Brooks, listen, say you want to bet the guys over Brooks. Like Brooks' approach play has been unreal. I don't know what happened.
I want to pick on Brooks at the Masters. I'm not looking to pick on him here, but if you're asking me, would I rather Minwoo or like Goddard than Brooks or even Knapp to win this week? I probably would say yeah.
I don't know about picking on Brooks at the Masters, only because his approach play has been so good, and that's usually what we see translate to Augusta, and that's why, I mean, Bryson can be so hit or miss. He's a lot like Minwoo in that way with his irons. Like, if you get a good Minwoo irons week like he had in Houston last year, you can most definitely win. Bryson's the same way. It's just usually that doesn't persist for 72 holes. With Bryson, it's bomb it away, crush the field driving, make way more putts than everyone else. Those are his two strongest skills. Right now, Brooks' strongest skill is hitting his irons.
I'm just going to be honest. Like, I'm saying I'm going to pick on him. I don't truly mean that because I'm not like, I need to see odds. I need to see a number there. Like I need to see what the matchups would be. But hypothetically, Brooks comes out, he plays incredible this week, doesn't win, finishes like fourth place. I think that, and that'll probably be enough for me to like take Hideki's over Brooks.
Okay.
And like whoever else would be in that like low, like 30. I know that the odds don't necessarily always correlate to the head-to-heads because there's different reasonings, permutations as to why the books would have, they could just, some people they're just trying to protect themselves with outrights on maybe some really popular players that wouldn't necessarily show itself in a head-to-head. So I'm probably overstepping, but I'll be happy to see Brooks play great this week because I'll think I will have some good opportunities.
Brooks is a co-designer on the redesign of this course along with Tom Doak as well. And then he left for LIV, but now he gets a chance to play it. It's nice.
If Brooks won this week, I'd be like, we could be in like the Xander head-to-head territory.
Yes, we would be if he wins. I don't know really what to do with this next level. I did have interest in Thorbjornsen, but he's getting beat down as well. I think 40 is still the best number you can have on him. Like this tier 2, the 30 to 100 range, Wyndham Clark really stood out to me. He's playing
totally on the list, your boy Cootie, but even just going back lower, Thorbjornsen, I think there are 40s. He opened at 40. I think 40 on him, totally fair. Part of me, maybe in a different, if I wasn't going for like the young pretty things, Adam Scott, he's a MILF. He'd get it done, but I'm not going to get there. Keith Mitchell, I thought maybe there'd be more. I can't trust him. But yeah, Clark, Cootie, Ryan Fox, like a lot of guys sniffing. And we haven't even Pat. I mean, I guess we could save that for 100, but who I'm going to be like suckers for too. Like just a lot of random Euros coming my way.
Yeah, well, there was a distinct thing that I wanted to get. I've bet 4 guys from beyond 100 to 1 because I thought some of the odds were really, really long for good types of skill sets. Huge boom or bust guys, obviously, but if they can just get one of their other things rolling well this week, they can do it. So the names that I had here, you actually hit on some of them. Clark, Fox, Cootie were the 3 that I was giving an extensive look to from this 30 to 100 range. Clark just hasn't been putting. Like his chipping is good. His approach is good. The driving is really hit. It was bad at the players, but you can have some really bad numbers at the players with 2 really terrible drive. He missed the cut at the Valspar last week. He was positive tee to green. He gained over 2 strokes on approach in 2 rounds. He's never lost strokes putting at this tournament in his career. He's played it all 5 times. I kind of like him here. I think the number's pretty fair, especially if I can get him in the each way extra market. And then all of a sudden he's like 80 to 1 with a top 3, because then at least he'll pay out what? 17 and a half to 1 on if he loses to Scotty and comes in second. I could take that.
Yeah, I think it's a fair number. What's going on Wyndham? I bet Fox.
You did bet Fox.
Yeah, I took a 90 out of the gate on Rivers. I've seen they're taking him down to 70. So I'm in on Fox. And Cootie, even the other Højgaards got my attention too, Pat.
Yeah, I did that. I did that last week. I did old Rasmus last week. He made the cut. That was encouraging, I suppose, but there wasn't really much there with him.
No,
it's all putting. It's been all putting for him this year. Like the only times that he's played well, like he hit his irons okay once, and that was at Cognizant. He came top 10, but he also dominated on the greens that week too. He's just not doing enough, to me at least, to be like, all right, I see it coming. Like with Fitz, I think everyone in the world saw it coming. I think we all just looked at his number last week and was like, I don't love this. He's coming off a devastating loss to the Players. Turned out he was fine, and he ended up winning. Should have bet him.
Yeah,
at that
great
number,
bounce back.
because he
That's
won.
another thing we didn't talk about. What incredible bounce back.
But looking at Rasmus Højgaard, it's just nothing sticks out to me here. At least with Cootie last week, the putter got back, the irons got back. He didn't drive the ball all that well, but when I'm thinking about driving this week, I'm just thinking about guys who are going to let it rip and generally gain a ton with their driver. He is one of those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the best number you've seen on him?
On Cootie, the each way extra is 100 to 1, which is nice, but I think he's in that like 60 area now.
Yeah, I've seen as low as 50. Maybe I saw 66 earlier. Some nice numbers. Like I'd bet him over Patrick Rogers, who I don't hate, but I'm not betting.
I'm not going to bet him either. Theegala's also in that range, who just had a really terrible week, but I'm okay with him. Probably
yeah, I mean, but him, like he's the exact player who would follow up a shit week with a spike. Like just let it rip. I'd have no problem betting him. I haven't bet him yet, but I could chase the Thieves Dragon. Just let her rip. You could be a little creative around the greens, make enough putts. How, like last week he was horrible. What was he before that?
He was good. He was good before that. Well, I mean, good relative to the baseline that he had been playing with, but
relative to the baseline of this field. So that also seems kind of attractive.
Yeah, he had posted 2 top 10s early in the year. He was top 10 at Bay Hill. He was 32nd at the Players, 22nd at Riv. Like he's been pretty good so far this year.
Yeah, like I'm not buying into the Tony Finau form. Like I'm happy to see it, but I don't like it's not going to get me to bet him to win anything.
Former winner of this event and came second that year that Jaeger won, tied with that group of like 10.
And I'll be honest, I mean, it's another great story on a different level of a story, but like I'm not going to fall for Woodland either.
Well, is he below 100 to 1 now? Oh my God, he is. He's 80 to 1. I think when I woke up this morning, he was like 160 to 1.
He's 90. So yeah, where I'm looking right now. So people are, I don't want to say falling for it, but yeah, people are betting that.
It makes
smarter
sense.
than me. I've actually seen people who like Baroff, I think, bet him. Baroff wins more than I do.
It makes sense of why people would like Woodland here. He finished runner-up a year ago and by far his best go. And he was very good last week at the Valspar. I mean, until Sunday hit and he kind of fell down the board a little bit.
I mean,
all of the guys that like historically play well in Houston all feel like they kind of hit the board last week. Like Toasty ended up putting up a round at Valspar. Now everyone can get back on Toasty this time around. There was Gary Woodland, Marco Penn, just a few. Even Kevin Yu popped up on Sundays. Like, oh my God, Kevin Yu. What happened to this guy? And all of a sudden he's back.
What's Castillo's profile?
Ricky Castillo?
Castillo.
Castillo. Yeah, now that he's won, we have to pronounce his name correct. What you're actually thinking about is you want to bet who I bet from beyond 100 to 1 is Isaiah Salinda.
Okay.
Because I know what your question is. Which one's which? Salinda's the guy who just absolutely mashes it off the tee. And he played well last week, too.
Don't get me wrong. I know Ricky just won. I'm happy for him. And why did Grazerman withdraw? Did we know that?
Has he withdraw last week?
Yeah, like
No
he's
idea.
just like just a lot of golf. Just take a week off. Maybe.
Sure. I don't care about him. But I have no idea why. So I have 4 guys from 100 to 1 that I bet. I bet Celinda, and I played these all with the 3 plays each way. So I have Celinda at 500 to 1, Pot Geeter at 150, and Yella Miraju at 175. Then I bet Mason Howell at 800 to 1. That's where I'm at.
I thought you were gonna give us like a Brennan drop there.
So here's, I guess, my issue with Brennan here, because I did give Brennan an awful lot. Just when I sorted by ball speed, that all of a sudden was like, all right, here's some guys that can absolutely mash here. Like Brandon Matthews is in the field. He's not going to win. You have to be able to do something else, right? Like Johnny Kiefer is a prime example of that. Like, I like Johnny Kiefer a lot. I think that he's going to get his act together at some point. He was 14 over last week. Maybe we'll get like another look in the summer. Now, Potgieter also
someone who missed the cut with huge numbers last week is going to play great this week.
I agree, but I'm talking about to bet.
And
to
that's
win.
not a hot take. Like that happens every week. But I'm just saying, there's such a like the exact things that could lead to success this week could get you in so much trouble last week.
Agreed. However, I haven't seen anything like the approach play is there for him. The driving has been there for him over the course of the season. It's just the chipping and putting are so bad that I need you to do one of those things well for this course, because you're just going to get into you're like, green regulation rate's pretty low here. You're going to have to chip it. It's all off shaved surfaces. That's another reason why I like Goddard so much, and even some of the Euros, is that the way that this course is constructed around the greens, even like the rough is super short. When I went back and watched from last year, like guys were spinning it out of the rough and getting it to stop from green sides. It's like, all right, it's mowed pretty shortly, but most of them are runoff areas. It's just completely different than most courses. Elevated greens, shaved off surfaces, more of what you would kind of see at a links course in a weird way.
Did you give the number you played Mason Howell at?
Yeah, 800 to 1.
Yeah.
He's the when I looked into him, I was like, man, he rates out really well. Like, I've never even heard of this guy. It turns out he won the U.S. Amateur. He's a real guy.
Real guy. Okay, so we've crossed 100. What Shooter Shan I'm seeing as low as 125 here. So you got a nice number.
Yeah, but I played it with the 3 places, so it's always going to be a better number, right?
Okay. And how's he drive the ball?
Big.
Okay.
So just to give you some. Just to give you some reference here are the top players in ball speed so far this season that are in the field. Potgieter, like by far number 1. It's Potgieter, Christo Lamprecht, Gordon Sargent. So I had to cross those 2 guys off the list because they don't do anything well besides drive the ball.
What is Potgieter doing right now?
Well, nothing. But
yeah.
I gave him a pass because I've seen him do things before. And even at Riv, he was pretty good. He was in like the second to last group at Riv.
Okay.
And his irons have been good at Riviera and Farmers so far this year. The only 2 long courses on tour. And this is a long course. It's a
Don't worry. I'm going to be like to all the Potgieter people, like, what has he done lately? Well, I'm in like 30 seconds going to be like, Pat, tell me about Jesper Svensson.
Well, let me continue on this ball speed list here. Potgieter, Lamprecht, Sargent, both Højgaards, Penge, Brennan, Minwoo, Woodland, Jesper Svensson.
I always talk about betting Jesper, but I don't actually bet him. I think this week I'm gonna bet him.
Why don't we just call him the Swedish Bo Hostler?
Different skills, but yeah,
very different skills.
We're getting to Bo Hostler territory with me and Jesper.
So old Jesper in 5 starts this season has been cut 4 times in a top 10 in Puerto Rico.
It's okay. And you know me, like Neergaard Peterson's over like 125.
Well, here's what I thought
might be too easy for him though. I don't know if he can. I got to look into him.
Think about that list that I just read off. So don't worry about Potgieter and the Højgaards and Brennan because those guys really haven't played. So we'll start with Minwoo, who is 8th on this list. Minwoo, Woodland, Svensson, Goddard, Clark, Knapp, Toasty, Shooter Sean, Mason Howell, Kitiyama, Matty Schmidt, Trey Mullenix, Celinda, Cootie, Ryan Fox. Like most of those guys are guys who've had great success at this course.
Yeah, and a few of them have had, nice little moments already in the last little bit, like Matty.
Maddie's interesting. I played a top 30 parlay. I put it out on Twitter. It's Fox, Maddie Schmidt, Toasty, and Mason Howell. $25 pays $3,000.
Fox, Howell, Toasty, and Schmidt?
Schmidt, yeah.
Top 30s.
Top
That's
30s.
a fun one, yeah. Not bad.
Probably should have put Celinda on that list because I like Celinda.
Shooter Shan on that.
He wasn't paying enough. I think I had Celinda and Shooter Shot on it as well. But I was like, yeah, if I put Mason Howell on this, I don't need so many people, I think.
What about Willie Mao, chairman?
The chairman? I feel like he's more of like, I don't want to say a Brian Campbell type, but because that guy's by far the lowest in the field. I feel like he's more of like an accuracy guy.
God, Aaron Wise is playing?
Aaron Wise. Well, you know who else is playing? Let me ask you this. When was the last time you think that Will Zalatoris played golf?
See, I would guess more recently, but when did he stop? I don't know. Riviera?
Farmers. 'Cause he didn't get into the signature events. Oh, man. And then he was incognizant, but he withdrew before he hit a shot.
Yeah, it sucks.
Of note, you can still bet him to win the Masters at 50-1. I don't think he's in the Masters.
How could he be in the Masters?
I don't know. Maybe he came second there last year and I just forgot about it.
And I could be wrong, but I know maybe it was a live thing, but last year I feel like there were a lot of, I mean, those would have already happened.
The sponsors' invites?
A couple weeks ago, but we saw like a few more just special invitations, I want to say.
I think we had 3 of them last year, with Neiman being the highest profile of them. This is the last week for guys to play themselves in, too.
Yeah, I know. That's where like the whole like where the fuck is Ricky crowd.
Ricky is here. Ricky's playing. He's like 25-1. You just didn't expect to see his name on the odds board where he is.
Honestly, I swear to you, I was even staring at this thing last night. I guess I was just looking through for looked right through him. Wow, yeah, he's right there with Brooks. Not a clue. I hope he plays great.
What does he need to do this week? Where's Fowler at? Fowler is 60. He doesn't need to win. He's 61st. I think he could pass a lot of guys here. Because if he doesn't get in as of this week, he'll need to use next week to get in.
Would 2 top 10s get him in?
No, because next week is only if you win. Because it cuts off after this week for the top 50.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
But I think because Scotty is here, it's going to lend a lot of weight to the field if you do end up with a high finish. So, I mean, who's the guy that No Fo Stru, whatever that guy is on Twitter? You know what I'm talking about?
Vuv. Yeah, the VU Nefostru.
Yeah, he ended up getting his account hacked, so he's not like on top of this stuff anymore.
Oh, yeah, I see. I didn't even notice that, but now that you said it, I haven't seen him in a while. What a shame.
I know. That was my go-to for trying to figure out who was in majors and who wasn't.
Oh, like people out here doing good work. And I'll be honest, I almost
you almost voted for someone in their podcast thing?
No, hear me out. They're improving. I'm not falling for no podcast thing. Okay. I'm not improving. Someone though who I do like, an old friend of ours from FTN.
Oh, it was Matt Davis, because I got one too.
And that one I almost fell for.
Me too. And I was like, just don't click on links.
Yeah, just don't click on links. And then I'll ask you a couple questions, right?
Yeah.
And they're good. They're good. I'm like, I even said like, but then when it got a little weird and I go, who'd you draft like 6th overall? And it's like in the heart of fantasy baseball season, the Nigerian didn't have a clue. Didn't have a clue. So that's when like I knew something's up. Okay, but yeah, it's not. Yeah. So they've moved past the podcast vote, which was clever by them. I'll give them like points. Everyone has a podcast now.
It's a learning model. They're learning.
Yeah, Jesus. So we're fucked. We're doomed.
Good thing
We're
Cust has
doomed because the podcast the vote for my podcast was very smart of them.
agreed.
And I'm sure they got a lot of people.
Can you help me whittle down this list?
Yeah, sorry for getting distracted.
That's all right. I told you the guys I'm betting from beyond 100 to 1. Those are more like fun ticket bets. Like the actual bets, I don't.
You got to decide between Nikolai and
those are Goddard, Nikolai, Penge, Brooks, Kitiyama were the 5 that I had grouped, and Thorbjornsson. Like those 6 are near-ish the top. I obviously not going to bet all 6 of them, so help me out there. Then I have like Clark, Fox, and Cootie from down the list. I feel like this sets up so well for Goddard. And I think I could live with Penge losing on Penge if he wins and I'm not there. I feel like I could live with that.
I would agree. I mean, now that he's like in the low 30s, what are you going to miss? No, sorry. Be annoyed. I'm not, but you're not. Yeah, I don't. Goddard and Minwoo, I believe, are like a class above the other 20s guys for me.
I think Goddard is in a class above him. I think Minwoo is closer to Brooks and Kitiyama and those guys.
Maybe he's obviously getting a little extra rub for being the defending champ, but I totally agree that I could convince someone who doesn't know who any of these people are that it's like insane that Goddard it pays more than Minwoo.
Agreed. You'd really not have to be paying attention to the number 10 player in the world who's won twice this year.
So the problem is, I was really thinking I'd take a lot of names. That's the problem.
I've been betting Nikolai, so I feel like I got to stick with Nikolai. Brooks is around the green.
I'd probably say Nikolai Thor and squeeze like as much as you can out of like your long shots. But I don't. I'm very tempted by the other 2 also. I'm debating all of those guys as well.
Well, I'll have the cheat sheet come out on Wednesday, and I'll discuss it with Blickle. I'll discuss it with Keith, and maybe they can shed some more light onto it. But Nikolai, I'm going to do Nikolai for sure. I can get him 50 with the 3 places. The Goddard I can get up to 30 if I take the 3 places. Obviously, your bet is split in half. But with Scotty in the field, I don't mind that, actually.
With Scotty, you know what? I haven't even looked at the withouts. You know?
I looked at it on the site that I have. It was not good. I didn't want to bet. I didn't want to bet Pearson Cootie at 20 to 1. The most fair number is probably Goddard in those markets, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I mean, Goddard would go from 24.5 to 20.5.
Which is not bad, considering I'm looking at a page with him at 19.5 with Scotty right now.
But then, like, would I rather do the without at 20.5 or just do what you might do, which is the 3 places at 30?
So you get the 3 places at 30, so that would pay 6 to 1 on a top 3. But you'd have enough money on it that it would, you go, what, 60 and 60 on each side. So you still get paid like 360. No, that's wrong. Yeah, 360 on the top 3, and you would get just what, 20, 60 is 18. So you probably have to go 75 on that to get over 2,000. So just over 2,000, and you'd get like $500 back on your top 3 if you got there, which is not bad.
Yeah, and also, like, if your guy comes second to not Scotty, you would still get money, but I'm not looking to...
We didn't touch on Burns or Ricky at all from this top tier, or Knapp, really. Just, I think it's too steep for Knapp. He deserves to be there with the way that he's been playing, although he hasn't played so well since he had that back injury.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he could be a good pivot in, like, the games, or because I don't know if people want to trust him right now because he's let a lot of people down in some spots. I agree. I know why he's priced. I know how the models like adore him on a setup like this. It's not that, like, what am I going to talk about Brooks, Burns, or Ricky? Like, I'm just not I'd rather bet the guys around them. If they win, I'm not shocked. If Ricky wins, I think we're all pretty happy for him. And we know how, like, the golf world gets when, like, Ricky's contending. It's fun. Just don't beat my guy. But I got nothing to add on them. I'm not betting them. I'm not betting them.
So quick picks
Do you think Burns could be sneaky for the Masters, though?
No, I don't. He can't hit irons. That's a problem. At a second shot golf course, as they like to say, being shit with your irons, not helpful.
Yeah, you can drive and putt your way to that one.
Yeah, Bryson would have 10 Masters if you could do that.
Fair.
Quick picks for the Houston Open, the Texas Children's Hospital Houston Open. I'll go Nikolai Højgaard, and I'll play this in the each way extra market. So I'll play the outright enhanced bet along with the top three. So I have to double my bet on it, but that's okay. Nikolai at 50-1, Wyndham Clark at 80-1, and then I have the long shots that I gave out earlier. Yella Miraju. Now I have to go look them up again. Yella Miraju, Mason Howell at 800-1, Celinda at 500, and Potgieter at 150-1. All those were played with the top three each ways. I'll have the finalized cheat sheet on Wednesday when I go over everything. If you're not subbed to the Mayo Media newsletter, you can get that down in the description right now. It's completely free, and it'll get sent directly to you, along with all of the updated information, WDs, weather, whatever it might be. It's all in there in cheat sheet form for you to read in your email on Wednesday, so go do that now. Who you got?
So I'm just, Pauly charts, like Penge, whatever. Mid 40s. I'm jealous of the people that got it bigger. I could see why people who like now it's at a no moss, but for the people that bet it at those original numbers, I'd have filled it as much as I could. Thor 40, like to the wall. Ryan Fox, I think I got an 85 there. That's what's in. Cootie, I'm swimming around. Nikolai, I am swimming around. As for the longer guys, it might finally be the time for me to bet on Jesper. We're finally going to get some Jesper action. And there was another big boomer. Oh, your boy. I'm going to follow you on the
Mason Howell.
But I don't know that I'm doing will probably be each way.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, I'm not betting him to win, but I'll bet some Mason Howell sprinkles. But I thought I would have more bombs, but truth is, I feel like I'm going to just be spending my money in like the 30 to 70 range.
Yeah, although Højgaard's the only one that I'm currently in on. Like I can see very much myself being like, all right, let's say I end up on Penge, that I give up on Goddard. It's like Nikolai, Penge, Brooks, and Kitiyama. Those are my four, with Wyndham Clark further down, and then those silly bets down the board.
But yeah, I woke up this morning thinking just firing grenade bombs. But now that it's actually building the card, I'm just going to have my six bodies that are between 30 and 70-1.
One and done picks for the week. Cust actually won last week with Cantlay. Not substantially over you and I with Spieth and Brooks, but for by $50,000 or something. So he is still in last. He is taking Shane Lowry as his one and done. Another guy that we forgot to talk about this week.
Shane Lowry, he was shit in Florida. He died in the waters of the Cognizant. And he couldn't even find his baseline in Florida. So I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, Gerard.
Sometimes Pat, he's played so well in Florida. He mixes for a month straight. He doesn't win. And then he goes to the Masters at the most popular mid-range. And by mid-range, I just sort of mean anything above 30, between 35 and 65 bet on the board. And he shits the bed. Maybe he'll be fun. Maybe no one will be talking about him in a week and a half, and it'll be great for him.
Maybe that's the move, and he'll end up going off at 80, and I'll be like, fuck Shane Lowry at 80, why not? Then he shoots 82 on Sunday.
But my one and done. You know what? When in Rome. I almost did it. Yeah, fuck it. Penge. So actually surprised Tim didn't pick him.
I don't think he knows who that is. I think
I thought maybe he watched him for the first time yesterday, and
no, he remembers him from the Scottish Open last year, but I think that he forgot that he's on the PGA Tour now, because I doubt he was watching Valspar. He woke up early to watch LIV, although I don't think he actually watched LIV.
Did he wake up early, or was it just on when he woke up?
Well, was it on? Didn't you have to have DAZN or DAZN in order to watch it? Which I know he doesn't have.
Okay, yes, he was talking. There was a tape delayed airing that I think aired. I don't know where he would have watched. Yeah, I don't know.
I'll
speak to it.
take Kurt Kitiyama as my one and done.
Thought you were gonna go Goddard up.
No, I kind of want to save Goddard up, weirdly enough. I think he's super live at the US Open. He fits that Wyndham Clark mold to a T, by the way.
Okay, yeah. I mean, now that you say it, sure.
And maybe it's Quail Hollow. Maybe it's not, you know what I mean? It's somewhere. I feel like I can use him because I haven't used him for 2 wins. This would be a good spot. Maybe I'll one and done him in the big one. I usually talk about that with Keith on the Tuesday evening show, which comes out just before midnight, of what I'm going to do in like the $1,000 one and done. Maybe
no way.
What?
Oh,
Scotty WD?
No, but I actually a bet I did want to make. I forgot. I am going to bet Shooter Shan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just dropped. He was 125. He just dropped to 90 on me.
Guy's great.
I gotta go find that now.
Yella Miraju. He's going to miss the cut by 1,000 strokes this week. If you play him with the 3 plays each way, you can still get 175 on him. That market has not adjusted yet.
All right.
All right, that'll do it for us. Give everyone a simple show today because I blew out another tire on a pothole. So I have to go bring the car over to the dealership and then go shoot a show with Blickle.
You're on this is another one for you now, eh?
That's 2. I got a summer one down the drain, so I got a winter one down the drain. But guess what's coming out on Thursday on Mayo Media Network?
All Cust Corner episode. All Judge Cust.
Judge Cust, you got it. You and me, we filmed it like a month ago, but it doesn't go out of date.
Like, that is like I saw in the States, it seemed kind of gross, but in the grocery store, they'll sell a bag of Lucky Charms marshmallows, just the marshmallows.
Why?
Isn't like Starburst just the reds? Although Tim likes the yellows, like an only Judge Cust. There's no like football. There's not. It's just Judge Cust.
I think we have 10 cases for Judge Cust with us to weigh in on. So brand new Thursday on Mayo Media Network. So turn on your notifications now. All right. Smash a like and sub to the channel while you're here. And I'll see you next time.
Mayo Experience. Experience.